we're going to do this pocket. So we're going to do 2D contour. We're going to use the same tool, same default settings here. Geometry, we're going to do an open chain. And we're going to loop around just the outside of this. Okay, and then we're going to leave that as is. We're going to go to the Heights tab. We're going to go from Model Top, Stock Top. Our top height is actually going to be Selection. We're going to pick the face of the model. We're going to go down to the selected contours we just selected. Under Passes, we're going to go to Wear, Compensation. We're going to do Roughing Passes. 0.03 again. Leave that at default. We're going to hit multiple depths. 60 thousandths. One step over of 10 thousandths. Rough final, use even step downs. We're going to go back up to the top here in our step over, finishing step over is going to be 5 thousandths. And we're going to check the smoothing box and leave that at default. We're going to go to the linking tab. Our lead in direction is going to be 0. We're going to come in straight off the part, which means we have to put in a linear lead distance that's at least half the diameter of the cutter, but in this case we're going to actually go farther. We want to make sure we're starting clear of that slot feature. We're going to get rid of our vertical lead in radius. And that should be it. Hit OK. Alright, so we have our profile coming off the part. We do a rough pass, finish pass on sides and on the ends. But if we look at this little pin feature, we've got a little, it's not finished, and that's on purpose. If we try to do that all at once, get a cutter overlap error. We're going to come back and do one more contour around that feature. We're going to actually highlight the routine we just did, and we're going to duplicate that. And I just noticed that my contours have now become unindexed. Okay, so this one's actually 3. I'm changing them so they match the handout I gave you that has the operation numbers. Okay, so on operation 7, we should be able to go edit. We skip the first 2 tabs. We're going to geometry. We're going to clear the geometry that was selected before, and we're going to select just the boss. Make sure the arrow's on the outside of the boss feature. We're going to go to the heights tab, and we can leave that at what we had selected because it's the same height and feature. And we're going to go to the passes tab. We can leave all this, I believe, at default. And we're going to our linking tab, and there are some things we need to change there. We're going to go back from 0 to 90 on this. And our linear lead-in distance needs to go down to 0.032. Go back to here. We're going to select our lead-in position, where it's going to be on this side of the pin. Hit OK. And that way it leads in coming from the slot and doesn't gouge our part. Okay, so now we've finished all the surface stuff with an 1/8 inch end mill that's going to be facing the neutral position. Now we're going to go on and cut the other half of this feature here. So we have this rough material that needs to go away. And we did the first operation using what is contour number 4. We're going to right click on that one and we're going to duplicate it. And we're going to drag that one down below 7, and we're going to rename it 8. Okay, so it should look like the toolpath cutting the C-shaped profile halfway to the part, minus 10 thou, from the opposite side of we're currently looking at. We're now going to right click and edit that, and we're going to go to the, we're going to keep the first tab at default. Second tab we have to clear out. We're looking at a different orientation of the part. So we need to select this face for the orientation of Z and one of these edges for X, and if necessary flip it. It should be pointing towards the body of this at all times. Okay, we're going to go to a geometry tab. We can keep the selections we had from the other side, but as you can see we're leading in from an opposite edge here. So we're going to edit that chain, and we're going to change the extension 0.25 to the opposite end of the part. So now our extension's over here. We hit OK. We're going to go to the Heights tab. We can keep all this at default. We can even keep the same point if you selected that one. We're going to go to the Passes tab. We should be able to keep all of this at default. We're going to go to the Linking tab, and we should be able to keep all of this at default as well. We're going to hit OK, and it should be leading in off the workpiece into this chamfer and out on the opposite side. Alright, now we have chamfering work to do. Okay, we're going to return to our home position, and we're going to start doing deburring passes. So our first deburring pass is going to be on the top edge of this part and around the base of this. Okay, so we're going to go to 2D chamfer. We're going to go to our library, and we're going to check our 1/4 inch chamfer mill. Keep the first page on default. Don't have to do anything to our orientation because we're going back to 3-axis here. And we're going to first select the top surface of this island, and then make sure the arrow is on the outside. And then our next chain is going to be an open selection, and it's going to be this outside radius arc, this line, inside radius, line, arc, 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 line, arc, line, and back out to the final one. Now on this we're going to put a 0.25 extension on both ends. Make sure the arrow is on the outside, and that way that we're wrapping all the way around, and this chamfer is going to blend with another one that's going to be cut from the side. We're going to hit OK. Next we're going to go to Heights tab. Going from model top to selected contours. We're going to the Passes tab. We're going to leave all this default except for we're going to change this default clearance to 60 thousandths. And chamfer clearance to 60 thousandths as well. We're going to check the smoothing box. We're going to go to the Linking tab. And everything else is going to be left at default. We hit OK. So we've got a lead in, it's going to come around, loop around out there, and then up here on the top too. I'm not going to try to deburr this little post. It's so small we don't want to risk breaking that off. That's going to be a loop, a pin for the loop on a spring in the assembly. Okay, so now we're going to go to chamfering the sides. So we're going to rotate back to this face facing the spindle, We're going to highlight the chamfer we just did. We're going to duplicate that chamfer. We're going to change the name to 2. We're going to edit this. It's critical we go to the multi-axis tab, check the tool orientation box. We're going to select a face that's normal to the spindle at the moment, which is that one, and our x-axis. Mine didn't need to be flipped. We're going to go to geometry. We're going to clear out what's been selected before. We're going to select another open chain. Straight line, arc, arc. We're going to do an extension of 0.25 on both ends. So it shoots out the ends past these points. We're going to hit OK. We're going to go to the Heights tab. We're going to leave everything at default on the Heights tab. We're going to go to the Passes tab. We should be able to leave these at default 60 and 60. Smooth things on. Go to the Linking tab. Instead of going 90, we're going to go 0. We're going to deselect the perpendicular box. Our linear lead-in distance, we're going to increase that to 0.1875. And we're going to hit OK. So we should have it leading in off the workpiece on both ends. We're going to rotate like so. And we're going to right click on our toolpath we just made. We're going to duplicate that path. We're going to go to Edit. Our multi-axis tab, we have to clear out our previous selections because we were rotating. We need to move it so that oops, so that this face here is in line with the spindle, and our x-axis is in line with one of these edges. Looks like we need to flip it. We're going to go to Geometry tab. We're going to clear out what was selected before. We're going to select a new chain, open chain, starting here. So we want to be selecting in the order of climb cutting so that the arrow's on the correct side. And we're going to put a 0.25 extension on those passes. Hit OK. The Heights tab, everything should be at default. Passes should be at default if you copied it. Linking tab, everything should be at default here as well if you copied it. Hit OK. And we have our last chamfering for the side. Now there's one more operation we're going to do in 5-axis before we take this part out and put it in the 3-axis mill to remove this big block of material off the back. We are going to come in and we're going to attempt to cut as much of this bevel as we can with our dovetail cutter. Now it's not going to cut it the cleanest, but it'll at least remove some of the material, and you might have to do some hand blending. So in order to do that, we're going to go to 2D, we're going to do a trace, and we're going to select our dovetail cutter we've been using, number 12, and we're going to leave everything at default feeds and speeds here. Multi-axis tab, we don't need to do anything because it's a 3-axis move, and we're going to select our geometry. We're going to look at the underside. And we're going to start with this lower radius. We're going to start with going to chain, open chain. We're going to start with this radius. Make sure the arrow is on the outside of the line. And we're going to trace around the bottom of this feature. And to the other edge. Okay, and we're going to put an extension on this. My 2.5 should be enough. And it's not going to be a tangent extension, it's going to be the closest boundary. And we'll hit OK. And then we're going to go to the Heights tab. Or in this case, I think we're just going to leave everything where it's at. Go to the Passes tab. Select the smoothing box. And the other box we need to check on here is we want to go from center, which is the default for trace, to left, so it'll offset as if it's climb cutting. And make sure the arrow is pointing to the left, this gray arrow, of our line. Now we're going to go on to the linking tab. Okay, that's it for the 5-axis.